So I'm gonna start with you, Craig. All right, your NFL team. Give them a grade A through F. Why the grade? And name 3 areas you want to see your team improve on. And then in the first round, in the first round draft, what positions would you like them to draft? So
Uh,
what you give the Carolina Panthers?
Cannot lie, man. I thought I was really upset with this team for the off season. I wanted them to win like 3 or 4 games and try to get at least 3 games and go after Trevor Lawrence or somebody like that. He's not local, but he's close by in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And the Panthers have really surprised me this year, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I probably got to give them like at least a B, like a B minus, probably a B,
Okay.
just because like even though they've only won 3 games, they've been in every single game.
Yes, they have. They're very competitive.
That surprised me. And without McCaffrey, the team has just surprised me. The only game that that you can look on the paper and see that they lost by more than that they lost by double-digit points was Tampa Bay. They lost by 14, but they were down 21-0, came back and made it 21-14, 24-17, and then they lost 31-17. So they were in that game as well. Like they could be 6-3 right now. They could be 2-7. Like you never know. But I mean, they're in every single game. Bridgewater's playing better than I thought, even though he's not really like lighting it up like I knew he wouldn't. Mm-hmm. But he's keeping them in the game. The defense is playing pretty well. I mean, I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but like they're surprising me as far as them being in every game and being like they put the Chiefs to the last second last week. Yeah. If they got that last catch with 2 seconds left, maybe they get a chance for a long field goal. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? What the kicker is? I can't remember his name. Slay, whatever.
Slay.
He just missed the field goal against New Orleans a few weeks ago. Like could have tied the game. Like man, they're in a lot of games. They're really competitive. Mm-hmm. Even though they've lost 4 in a row, they're competing every single week. So they got Tampa this week at home. They can just rectify some of those mistakes. Maybe they can probably pull off an upset, but they're playing against. That's why I was mad that Tampa lost last week in the manner that they lost, because now they're playing against an angrier Tom Brady led team, and I don't know how that's going to work out for them. But as far as areas of improvement, I definitely think they need a pass rush. They pretty much got 1 sack a game. They got 9 sacks. That's not going to cut it. Like that's embarrassing. So they need to get to the quarterback. Find some type of way to get to the quarterback. They're second to last in the league above the Jaguars as far as sacks goes. And then they drafted all defense last year. So I definitely think they need to get some more line help to make some type of pass rush happen, because they're just not doing it. They are doing better against stopping the run this year, which surprised me. Go figure. Especially after last year where he was giving up just yard after yard. I definitely think they need a cornerback or some type of defensive back, because they're just not. Bradbury left and he's doing he's balling out in New York. Like that's why I was really upset that they let him go. They let Eric Reed go. Johnson is just getting lit up back there in the secondary. So Trey Boston's whatever. So I mean, they definitely need secondary help as well. Or not Johnson, Jackson. I'm sorry. And then I think they need offensive line help. I mean, it's always good to have a really good left tackle to watch your blind side. If I were to pick another position, just because they don't have a tight end, so the tight end position would definitely be needed. But man, they pretty much like the NFC South has the best wide receivers in football as far as like each team, like the best core. If you look at all the wide receivers overall in each conference or in each division, who has the best? Like I think the NFC South has the best. So like they definitely need some cornerback help to stop Julio Jones and Michael Thomas and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and now Antonio Brown. Like I mean, and they got good wide receivers on their side as well. So that's where I would go, man. Like I'm really surprised that they're playing so well. As far as draft positions go next year, you got to stick with the defense again.
Okay.
Just get some type of pass rush, man.
Yeah.
Rush out there.
All right. Cool. This is a good one for Joe. Um. All right,
You
Joe.
a Cowboys fan? I'm a Broncos
Nah, he a
fan.
Broncos fan. He's a Broncos fan. Yeah, he's a big Broncos fan too. All right. So give your team a midseason grade A through F. Why the grade? What three areas do you want to see your team improve on in the future, and what positions do you like to see him draft?
Okay. I mean, like a C minus for the
Okay.
grade.
Okay.
They're 3-5, which is about what I was expecting coming in. It's easy to blame injuries for a lot of their issues. You know, they currently have 11 players on IR, including 4 of their top 5 highest paid players: Super Bowl MVP, future Hall of Famer Von Miller, Pro Bowler Cortland Sutton, 5-time Pro Bowler Jarrell Casey, Juwan James, who was their big offensive tackle signing from last year. And then players who aren't out for the year but have missed some time: Drew Lock, AJ Boye, Purcell, who's their nose tackle, who's been phenomenal at stopping the run. Philip Lindsay's missed time. KJ Hamler's missed time. Noah Fant's missed time. Graham Glasgow's on the COVID list. You know, it's a lot of really important players have missed a lot of time. And the fact that they're 3-5 is about what I was expecting. They've played the Titans really close, who's a 5-2 team. They played the Steelers down to the last play, undefeated team. A couple bad losses to the Bucks and the Chiefs, and then they played a lot of games close. So 3-5 is about as best as I could hope. They have a really young offense, and they look like it. Going into the year, the only second contract player they had as a starter was Melvin Gordon, and he's missed some time. It's a young offense with a quarterback who only has 8 or 9 starts in his career and no off season. So like there's a lot of things going against that, and Drew Lock definitely needs to improve if he's going to be a franchise quarterback. He's not going through all of his reads. It's 1 or 2, and then bailing out of the pocket, bailing out of clean pockets a lot of the time too. Just rolling out, and doing a lot of throwing off his back foot, not stepping into throws. But there's good there too. There's definitely been some. He's very athletic. He has a cannon for an arm. He's made some really great throws. And this is the first time that I've even been able to say maybe he's the guy. You know, since Peyton Manning, the other options: Simeon, Osweiler, Paxton Lynch, Flacco, Keenan, Brandon Allen. You see him for 2 minutes, you're like, he's not the guy. He's not the guy, but
did have Flacco.
Could be. And that's what the season's about. It's seeing, is Locke the guy, or do we need to go get somebody else? So, I mean, I'm not expecting to make the playoffs, but I'd like to see that. One of my complaints so far has been Pat Shurmur. The Broncos hired him as OC this past year, and the play calling hasn't been great. There's a lot of running on 2nd and 10, which is the worst play in football. A lot of the passing,
8 in the box. 8 in the box.
Yep. A lot of the passes are. It seems like it's either bombs or just thrown to the running back, not working the middle of the field enough, which is crazy because with Jerry Jeudy and Noah Fant, like that's where you should be eating, in the slants. There's not been enough plays getting Noah Fant in space. He's 6'4", 240 pounds, runs a 4.5. One dude's not tackling him. You need to get him, build your offense around getting him the ball. And they haven't been doing that. There's not been a lot of creativity in the play calling. You have 2 Pro Bowl running backs. You need some packages where they're both on the field at the same time. Another good, Albert Okwuegbunam has looked really good. The tight end out of Missouri. He's ACL. He's done for the year now too. But I think moving forward, 2 tight end sets would be a really good idea. Get your best players on the field. So areas that I want to see improve are 2 things I've touched on already: play calling. Need to be a little more imaginative in the play calling and get the ball to your playmakers. QB play, Locke needs to step up. This season's all about seeing if he's the guy. And then offensive line play. There's been a lot of injuries and it's been kind of patchwork. I'd be upset if I didn't say Garrett Bowles has been incredible this year. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option because he's looked bad pretty much his whole career, but he's like the number 1 PFF rated tackle this year. He's been incredible. He had double-digit holding calls his entire career. This year, I think he only has 2 or 3. So he's really improved on that. But the right side of the line's been an issue, especially with Graham Glasgow, right guard out. And then they're now on their 3rd string right tackle. It's been rough, but needs some help on the O-line to get a better view of what Drew Lock can really do. Positions to draft. Inside linebacker. They need some help. Alexander Johnson, hopefully they re-sign him and he's on the team for years to come. But they need somebody to go along with him, especially somebody who can cover. Josie Jewell's not going to be it in the future. They need someone who can cover tight ends. Another thing that I wanted to mention about doing really well is the safeties for Denver have been incredible. Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons are top 5 duo in the league, and they've played like it. Other positions that need to draft: right tackle. Juwan James will have to 1 more year potentially, and then they can cut him. Cornerback, always need more cornerbacks, and potentially quarterback. At the end of the year, Locke will have roughly 20 games.
It's good sample size.
I don't know if it'll be bad enough to get one of the top 3 guys, but if you are in a position to get one of those top 3, Locke's obviously not been good enough, and I think you pull the trigger. But if not, I'm willing to give him 1 more year, or maybe go after a Winston, something like that. And because the offense has a lot of weapons when healthy, so I'd like to see him used.
All right, cool. We all know Washington football team. I predicted at the beginning of the season they would go, what did I say, 6-10? I can't get mad at that. 6-10, 5-11. I'm happy. I give them probably a B. Kind of like a B minus though.
What?
B minus, because they're holding up my predictions. Like
they were like 2 games out of first in the division.
Yeah, man, we are in a good place, Craig. But no, we got a lot of issues. All right, so the grade is because the expectation wasn't high at this point. For real, I was going to go into the season 5-11, 6-10. That's still not good. It's my grade is based on how bad. I mean, how bad we were going to do. That's not good. That's not good. Hey, what's up?
They only won 4 games.
Yeah. Look, if they win 4, I'm 1 under. I mean, it's not. Well, expectations are not high. So that's why the grade. The 3 areas that we need to improve on in the future. We got to address the quarterback position again, unfortunately. Again. So I tell Cowboys fans, be very, very careful of franchise tagging. You can say what you want about Kirk Cousins, but he's a decent starter. But we let him go. I don't think we should have. Because we're still looking for a quarterback. And he's won the playoff game. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So, they don't believe in Dwayne Haskins. I have a different opinion. I mean, his sample size is so small, right? So, I'm a guy like, at least give him 20 games. At least. But Ron Rivera, they see something that they don't like, they could go back to him.
He doesn't like
It
he
doesn't.
doesn't like that
It
dude,
doesn't
man.
like he doesn't like him.
He's never going back to
Nah,
him.
he's not. They're probably going to trade him, which I agree with. That'll be a clean start for everybody. Um, yeah, gonna have to trade him.
Who's trading for him though?
Yeah,
What are you
I
gonna
don't
do?
know. Somebody will.
Nobody wants him. I heard he has bad work ethic, bad like off the field, like he doesn't want to study and doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
want
what
to
I
even
heard.
work.
That's what I heard
Man,
too. That's what I heard too. He doesn't pick up the playbook quite as well. Anyway, the second area is probably the offensive line. Our offensive line is terrible, man. It's terrible, and it's terrible, man. Like we play, we played the Rams, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy!" Like, we're playing teams, and I mean, they're getting beat up. I wish we could have kept Trent Williams. The right side is good. It's the left side that is terrible, and then the left side is where the pass rushers are. That's where people get paid to rush on that side, and we have a crappy left tackle. So it's going to lead to a lot of bad quarterback play, a lot of decisions, a lot of rush throws, a lot of dumping off a quarterback, and probably this is a toss in the air. I'm going to say we're probably going to need a receiver to go with Terry McLaurin. He's a really good receiver, but I think he needs. He's definitely a number one, but I think he needs. Yeah, I think he is. I think he's a number one. I just think he needs just another receiver, maybe a big-bodied guy like, for instance, if they have somebody like a Mike Williams or just Michael Gallup, like a big-body receiver. So they can do the jump balls. Yeah, it would take a lot of pressure, yeah, because you can't double them. And the secondary, the issues. We have a nice front eight, so it hides a lot of the deficiencies in the secondary. Our secondary is, to me, it's just trash. But our defensive line is great, and our linebackers are decent enough. So you don't see in the secondary, like, our safeties are not good. Kendall Fuller is doing good, but I mean that's one guy. Now, what positions would I like to see my team draft? Simple: quarterback, quarterback, quarterback. Now it's going to be very interesting because I feel like we're going to fall in between that 15th pick. Not 15th pick, but like 8th or 9th. I don't think we're going to fall in the top 3. We might, but it doesn't look like it. That looks like it's
Jets and the Jaguars.
Jets, Giants, and Jaguars. Unless the Giants don't draft a quarterback.
The Giants are the Redskins. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I don't think. I think
they might win the division.
Yeah. I think the Eagles are, but so like if we go 4-12 and we end up getting 4 top 5 pick, I would say we will be in a better position to draft a quarterback. But or at least trade down to get more draft capital to get into the middle where we want a quarterback at. But once again, we need a receiver. We need a lot of secondary help, corners, and we need a left tackle. So we got a lot of work to do because, either we get a left tackle or a really good left tackle or a decent quarterback. So it's gonna be I don't know. I don't see the Washington football team being good any time soon. Unfortunately, I don't. I like Ron Rivera. I think it's going to take him a good 3.5 years then I'll start talking like, okay, be optimistic. Like I don't think it's gonna be a 1 year, no, 2 year, no. It'll be 3 years, unfortunately. So how to deal with that? Washington football team. Yay. Yay. I'm still here though. I'm standing strong. I know a lot of people that football team fans have fled. They've become Raven fans. Unfortunately.
You think the Washington football team is going to stick with the name the Washington football team, or you think they're going to switch to something else?
I think they're going to switch to something else. I read recently that they're taking their time, which makes sense. So it could. I've heard a lot of talk, but you never know. But I heard the Red Wolves, and I heard the Red Hawks, and I've heard the Red Tails, and I've heard the Generals and the Senators, and it's gonna. I think it's probably gonna take 3 years. That's what I'm hearing. I'm reading reports, so they're taking their time with it. So they're not gonna. I don't know if they're gonna pick one next year. They're talking about going next year with the same Washington football team. They explained it, which makes sense, right? When you do it, then they don't want to change the colors, but they might. So we don't. It's a lot of thought that's going to go into it because it is a brand. It has a loyal fan base. It's still top 10 good franchise. If Snyder would sell the team, somebody's going to buy it ASAP. I mean, it's got loyal fans. So, but I don't think it's going to change. Not next year, Joe. I think it's going to maybe 2 years from now. We'll be looking at a new name. What's it? Probably 2022. Washington football team.